We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we're going to continue the March of the King series. This one we're going to rewind review Godzilla Final Wars, the last Millennium movie. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, if you've been here for a while, you know that I still haven't reviewed Godzilla 54 or Gojira and Godzilla Raids Again. Well, back when I started the series, I said that I was going to leave those two movies for the week that Godzilla was coming out. Well, guess what? We are a week away. I cannot believe how far we've come since I started this series back in what? Early October of last year? Incredible. Incredible. 29 weeks. Minus 4 weeks where I did take a break. Kind of cut that in between each series. But let's get down to this movie. I enjoyed it. Straight up. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen it twice before, and I remember watching it the other two times that I did like it a great deal. That hasn't changed. For whatever reason, because there are a lot of cheesy parts in this movie, for whatever reason, I just enjoy it. There's a number of reasons, there's a number of things that take place in the movie that I really like, but yes, there are a lot of flaws in this movie. First of all, the Matrix fighting, and I can understand why they did this. The Matrix, at the time this movie came out, was a very, very popular movie series. And at this point, I think the third and the second and the third Matrix had just come out within the last year before this movie was released. At least out in Japan. And, I think it released in Japan in 2004, maybe, and I think we might have gotten it maybe a year later or a year or two later. But, so all the crazy fighting looked horrible at points. But there were some fighting scenes, we're not talking about the monsters right now. There were some fighting scenes that I did like. I like that motorcycle scene. I thought that was great. I thought that was a cool scene. Did it look like, it didn't look like the greatest fighting scene in the world, I mean, in terms of like the visuals, but I thought it was a good scene. I enjoyed it. For whatever reason, I enjoyed it. The monsters being unleashed, I mean, look, the first time we get to New York, and you see Rodan flying through New York, all right? Now, before all that, there's the pimp guy, there's the homeless man, and then there's the cop. That scene was horrible. That was so bad. And, I kind of, I look at that scene and I'm like, man, this is some horrible acting. I mean, jeez. It was bad. And then when you see Rodan on top of the building, you see that he's got like, it's almost like a cape, his wings. They're not like wings like they were. Like, I like the original Rodan outfit. This new one I wasn't too crazy about. So that whole scene that took place in New York and when Rodan first appeared and all that, wasn't crazy about that. Then we move on to the Zillions coming down, and that was a great, great thing to see. The guy who played the young one, who eventually assassinated his leader, I liked him in this movie. I don't know who the guy is. But I like the acting, that very cynical, and it was a little bit overdone at times. But I actually liked that performance. I just thought it was good. But again, there's cheesy moments as well, like when at the end when him and the other Kaiser guy are fighting, and then he starts glowing, and the only thing I could think about was the Last Dragon. I swear to God, I heard in my head, "Take life one day at a time. That's what a wise man said to me." And I was just, that song kept playing back in my head, and I kept thinking like, "You are the last dragon, you possess the," and I just, song could not escape me for the rest of the movie. Especially when you see him beating up on a guy, and then the monitor you see Godzilla beating up on, I guess if you want to call that like pre-Ghidorah. So it was, again, there were moments. This is the best one. This one beats all. So right before they start fighting, the white guy, I can't remember his name, but I thought he was a cool character, actually, to be honest. He tells the other guys to go ahead to the ship so he can take on the other two Zillions. So they cut to the group that's heading to the ship, and they get cut off by all the other mutants that were taken over. Now there's about 25 of these guys, okay? They're all in a big hallway where there's like these center pillars, right? So all these mutants come, they pretty much take up the whole hallway. They all have lasers, and they point it all at the other guys, and they start shooting. Now, the other guys take cover, okay? Now, get this, and if you've seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they started taking cover after about 25 guys started shooting lasers at them. How none of them got hit at that point in time is beyond me. So when they go take cover, they all take cover behind the same pillar. And the mutants form like a semicircle and start firing. They don't hit anyone, even though they're right in front of them. I thought that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. 5 people taking cover behind a pillar while there's a semicircle of mutants firing a gun. Some of them in point-blank range nearly, and no one gets shot. Akira Takarada there's dual wielding while 25 guys are shooting at him. He's sitting there, yeah, I'm invincible. Can't fuck with me. I'm Akira Takarada, motherfucker. So guys started dying. It was worse than the scene on the beach in Destroy All Monsters, where it's open. There's no no cover, no walls, no nothing. And you got the aliens and the agents shooting at each other, and no one's hitting each other. It's horrible. It's so bad. Oh, but it's so good. It really is sometimes. It's so good. It's so bad it's good. So, obviously this is like supposed to be a monster apocalypse. So these aliens come down. They make it appear like they saved the world by taking the monsters away. Very Destroy All Monsters like. And actually, the leader originally did intend to come in some sort of peace. His subordinate did not see it eye to eye, and when they had this big newscasting where Akira Takarada does his best impression of the big redhead woman from Total Recall, and his head splits open, get ready for a surprise, and there pops out this little mechanical head that looks very much like a fish head. So, this is all on national TV. People are freaking out. The subordinate assassinates his leader. He takes over, releases all the monsters, and all hell breaks loose. And man's only answer is the G. And they head up to go get the G, where we get none other than a cameo from The Rock. Yeah, this guy looked he's got the sideburns going on. He's got the same tone. Pretty big dude. He's sitting there rocking out to the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla soundtrack in a Hawaiian shirt. And his buddy looked like Gary Coleman grew a couple of feet and then went on steroids. And explain to me why in the South Pole, okay, in the South Pole, you have a guy in a netted shirt and another guy in a Hawaiian t-shirt in the South Pole. What? I mean, you can't make this shit up. And this is where the movie, obviously, for me, is like, all right, this is ridiculous. Like I said, it is an enjoyable movie, probably because I got some of the biggest laughs out of some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But beyond that, the end fight scene was the best one. The one with Godzilla, Anguirus, Rodan, and King Caesar that was a joke. I mean, come on, really? We're playing soccer? Go! I mean, it was fun to watch, but it was very... And King Caesar looks horrible. That King Caesar suit, I don't care what anyone says, that is the worst suit I've ever seen. I mean, I like the original one to me was much better than that. That one, he looks horrible. Horrible. So, Godzilla takes care of them. Earlier in the movie, he dispatches his counterpart, his American counterpart, which actually, if you own this movie, you go to the scene selection, if you go to that scene, the title of that scene is called something along the lines of Unthroning the Pretender. Yeah, wow. I have noticed that because I had seen the movie. I was watching the movie earlier, then I stopped it so my kids could watch their cartoons. And when I went back to continue, I wanted to pick up where I left off, and I noticed that. So pretty cool. But look, overall, it was a fun movie. There's some bad parts. There really are. I mean, just inexcusable parts. And there's some parts that I thought were really cool. The end fight scene with Godzilla and Kaiser King Ghidorah is just phenomenal. I mean, it was a great fight. It really was a lot of fun to watch that. Godzilla got his ass handed to him. The Gigan designs in this movie were incredible. I do like the ones with the hooks. I thought that was good. Mothra, of course, always has to come in. I don't care what anyone says about Mothra being a deity. She gets her ass handed to her most of the time and then does something miraculous to come out in the end, but still dies. She looks all mangy. I don't know. I just don't think goddess or god, whatever you want to call her, when I see her. This movie, she looked mangy. Gigan whooped her ass. She got a lucky shot in where she dodged his little disc, and I don't even see what the point of her there. I just would have rather seen Godzilla take them both on by himself, to be honest. But anyway, not that she didn't do her thing. That little fire flying through Gigan thing was pretty cool, I guess. But great movie, and that King that Kaiser Ghidorah design was great as well. And the gravity beams actually did something that relates to gravity, which is lift Godzilla, move him around. Never seen that before. Before it was, I used to just always call it yellow lightning. It was, I don't know why they called it gravity beams back in the day, because they never moved anything. But this time they finally got it right. It actually moved stuff. He should have killed Godzilla. The second time he lifted him off the ground and dropped him on his head from that height, he should have been crushed. He should have crushed on his own weight. But it's all fun and games. And then finally, Godzilla pulls through thanks to being saved by the last dragon. Okay, take life one day at a time. And he starts glowing, and he shoots the beam at Godzilla's dorsal fins. Godzilla charges up. He gets his glow. And then he starts glowing, and the music starts playing again. You are the last dragon. And then, Godzilla does this pulse move, blows up the center head, has the right head blow up the left head, steps on the left head. It was just a big, like, he just killed it at the end. Finally, he tosses him up in the air. He does a 360, and then he just shoots out his red beam, and everything is all good. Manila comes to say, Daddy, you did a great job. Don't kill the little people. He says, okay, son, I'm going for a swim. He follows. Everybody's happy, and that is the end of the Millennium series. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we're going to continue the March of the King series. This one we're going to rewind review Godzilla Final Wars, the last Millennium movie. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, if you've been here for a while, you know that I still haven't reviewed Godzilla 54 or Gojira and Godzilla Raids Again. Well, back when I started the series, I said that I was going to leave those two movies for the week that Godzilla was coming out. Well, guess what? We are a week away. I cannot believe how far we've come since I started the series back in early October of last year. Incredible. 29 weeks. Minus 4 weeks where I did take a break. Kind of cut that in between each series. But let's get down to this movie. I enjoyed it. Straight up. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen it twice before. And I remember watching it the other two times that I did like it a great deal. That hasn't changed. For whatever reason, because there are a lot of cheesy parts in this movie, for whatever reason, I just enjoy it. There's a number of reasons, there's a number of things that take place in the movie that I really like. But yes, there are a lot of flaws in this movie.